Okay, so let's move on to the panel discussion. The theme is the future of Japanese companies engaged in sustainable finance. I'd like to now invite the moderator and the panelists. Please welcome them with a warm applause. And from here on, I'd like to ask the moderation from here on to Ms. Sakaguchi Kazuko, the President and CEO of AllianceBernstein Japan and the Director of FinCity.Tokyo. Ms. Sakaguchi, thank you for the kind introduction. I am the President and CEO of AllianceBernstein, Sakaguchi. Although the time is limited, I'd like to serve as the moderator from here. So, let me introduce you to the members of the panelists over here today. So first, on my left, the company was founded in 1890, and this company celebrated 135th anniversary. From Inabata, the General Manager of IR Planning Department of Finance and Corporate Management Office, Mr. Shimonosono of Inabata and Company. So Inabata and Company, last year, they issued the Green Bond. And at Japan IR Council, they were selected, chosen, and awarded as the IR Excellent Company. And Mr. Shimonosono's hobby is fishing on the sea. Now let's move on to link the future and information, the tagging company. From Sato Corporation, the head of IR, Ms. Tsuge Maiko. This is Tsuge. I'm pleased to see you. So Ms. Tsuge, in April 2000, she joined the company in the sales department, and she became the general manager of PR. And from 2024, she became the head of IR. Tsuge-san's hobby is to watch American movies. Thank you. Now let's move on. So it's a global medtech company engaged in endoscope, the global top market shareholder, Olympus Corporation's ESG Global Vice President, Mr. Minasawa Hiroshi. Nice to see you all. I am Minasawa. European CSRD and SSBJ, Sustainability Standard Complying Regulations, Regulatory Affairs are his area of the business. And Mr. Minasawa in Olympus, he's been engaged in various different departments. And in 2021, from April, he came to be in the current position. His hobby is to visit Japanese sake bars. So at Fukushima, Aizu area, where Olympus factory is located, there is a great sake brewery, he says, which he likes. And the final panelist, let me introduce. From sound mind and sound body. The sound mind is in the sound body, that is. So the sport shoes top brand, ASIS Corporation's General Manager Finance Department, Mr. Tsujiue Kazuya. Nice to see you. Hello, I'm Tsujiue. So Mr. Tsujiue was first joined after he graduated from the university. He joined a financial company and he moved on to IT department, and he was in the financing activities there. And in January 2023, he joined ASICS Corporation, and he was engaged in capital policy and financial policy and strategy. His hobby is to watch the Kobe Sea and beach and do the running. So with those four panelists, we are going to talk about the future of Japanese companies engaged in sustainable finance. And I'd like to ask them what's been the circumstances and challenges to date in trying to realize the sustainable finance. So the first question is as follows. So the first question. So what was the first initiative your company undertook in the area of sustainable finance? So this is going to be a question for everyone, starting from Mr. Shimono-sono of Inabata. Please go ahead. Thank you for the question. So this question is not just about the sustainable finance, but is for the sustainability-related activities and initiatives that we've been working on. So from that angle, I'd like to answer. So this slide shows Inabata's approach to sustainable finance and the evolution that we have followed. In fact, we came to work on sustainability initiatives on full scale from 2021. In 2021, in June, the revised governance code was issued, and with that, we had to enhance our sustainability initiatives from the guidance. Through the AGMs and SRIR activities, we got more ESG sustainability-related questions, and I came to feel the difference in the world. And one of the forerunner was the CEO Yokota. First, it was the top-down approach. So from October 2021, including the outside directors, all the directors were involved in the Sustainability Committee, which was established in that month. And we also formulated the Sustainability Execution Department. And then the Sustainability Plan creation and the disclosure were handled by this team, as well as the PR, GA, and IR departments. And at the same time, we also hired some experts. And with a great speed, we went on to establish more mechanism within the company. And also, as Ms. Sakaguchi mentioned earlier, in 2024, we decided to connect the sustainable finance activities to the actual business. So we issued the green bond and conclude the green loan agreement as well. And just like that, it's not like we were always, we were not the first one to start the sustainable initiatives, but after we started, we've been very speedy in working on these activities. Thank you very much. So now, Ms. Tsuge, please. Yes. So first, let me tell you about our business simply. So Sato is a company that connects the goods and the information so that we can contribute to the efficiency improvement of the world. And as this slide shows, barcode labels and RFID tags are being used to realize visibility. We're the company doing the tagging. So this word tagging is coming from the applying tag on something, and the object to apply the tag, do the tagging, is diverse as you see here. So we need to understand the field really well, and the frontline employees would have to be creative, and that is the source of our originality and creativity. And in order to draw out such creativeness of the field, for over 40 years, we have been investing in the people and the organization, and that's leading to the sustainable finance of Sato current. And there are two initiatives mainly. One is to penetrate the corporate policy. Now, the purpose-oriented management is becoming a common word nowadays. But our founder, in 1978, he said that the company should contribute to the society through the business. And that was set as the main and core principle of the company. And to date, we are trying to penetrate this principle around the world. The founder faced the the fear of bankruptcy many times. But he said, unless we are needed by the company, we would be obsolete and we would be gone. He had such a sense of crisis. Secondly, the field acknowledgement, something that the field noticed would be penetrated around the company. Every day, all the employees would send in information or suggestions in just like 3-line suggestion to the president. We have such a system. So it's called industrial report. It's a 3-line proposal report.
This is again in 1976, started by our founder. And back then, companies was growing, and the situation in the field was difficult to grasp. That was his sense of crisis. So people and on-the-ground work initiatives supported our sustainable growth at Sato. Thank you very much. Next, Mr. Minasawa. Yes, Olympus, in our management strategy, 2019, we talked about ESG, and we had a new management strategy announced in November 2019, in line with management philosophy. By reinforcing our ESG initiative, we'd like to really play the role to the society and stakeholders, and we identified 4 materialities and started to work on ESG. Initially, we are making the microscopes and became a camera manufacturer, and also expanded our business to healthcare and medical devices. And we like to become a true global medtech company, and we like to realize sustainable growth. Therefore, we like to also make the healthcare area as a pillar of our businesses. And with the change of the company's formation, we also revised, updated our materiality, and we have the purpose of the well-being, and identified 6th materiality to work on sustainable finance. Thank you very much. Next, Tsujiura-san, please. Yes, sustainable finance initiatives at ASICS. Well, sustainable enterprise value enhancement by having a wider scope, such as cost of capital and fundraising. So, in our engagement with investors, global capital market discipline, or excessive expectation of the capital markets by control through the engagement with the investors. And from that kind of the perspective, we started our initiative. And please show the slide. This shows July 2024. We have about 200 billion yen uridashi in a global offering style. For a long time, we had the banks and other stakeholders as a stable stakeholders or shareholders. We sold them. We asked them to sell our shares, and this is what the investors purchased. And equity ratio about 11% is worse. And this is the large uridashi. And this was done under the strong leadership of the top management in this deal. And what kind of the issues that we are confronted with back then, that was described on the left-hand side. Firstly, as in the cross-shareholding or strategic shareholding seen frequently among the Japanese companies, and there is increasing pressure to unwind such cross-shareholdings. And we realized that we cannot be justified, particularly this was mentioned by overseas institutional investors. On the cost of capital, we also try to verify this from various perspectives, but cost of capital ASICs were relatively high. So we recognize that on the left bottom-hand side, compared to competitors globally, the stable shareholders to hold our shares, and it is very rare to see such companies. And we are competing against them in the same playing field, and we also wanted to change our shareholder makeup. And the right-hand side is a result of this. We have 15,000 retail investors purchased our shares. On the right-hand side, 127 institutional investors, of which 94 institutional investors became ASICs new stake shareholders. So actually, this capital policy deal was quite successful in the end. Thank you very much. All of the companies, you talked about what triggers you to work in this area. My next question is that all of the companies had a different timing to start this initiative, but what is the most difficult point, or what was the challenging point through the processes? So can you also share those points? And at the same time, how did you overcome those issues? So we are very much interested in that. So can you talk about them? So earlier, we started with Shimonosono-san. You mentioned that you were slow to start with, but also worked in this in a speedy manner. So I think on the backstage, you had a lot of the difficulties. So can you talk about that? Well, thank you very much. Can you show the slide? Well, what was a difficult point or challenging point? Well, when we started the initiatives, our executives and the management, in terms of the understanding and the being convinced, the level of that was quite different. And traditionally, sales division had the stronger say, and for sales division, because of that, had a lot of the resistance because of the larger cost and efforts. And how did we overcome such challenges? I'd like to explain this from the organizational standpoint. And this chart, this shows how we are promoting our sustainability initiatives. On the top red box area, we have not only internal directors, but main executive members and the department heads are members to sustainability committees. So we established such committee. So as shown here, almost the senior managers are members to this committee. Therefore, they tend to able to nurture the ownership in this initiative. And the bottom red boxes, for all of the sales divisions, we also assigned sustainability promoters, and they were to disseminate this initiative. We are using the recycled resin and renewable energy products. Therefore, sensitivity to sustainability was high among many sales reps, and we assigned such high aware sales reps to become the sustainability promoters. And regarding sustainable finance consultations or requesting to attend the sustainability meeting. Those were made. So in this kind of the bottom-up manner, we were able to gradually overcome the issues. Well, thank you very much. The sales divisions had the strongest resistance, but you assigned the promoters in the sales reps. I think this is a very wise tactics. And for those companies who are yet to fully develop the sustainability finance internally, maybe you can refer Inabata's examples. Thank you very much. Next, the industrial regular report. So this is directly related to your purpose. So Tsuge-san, what were your challenges? Well, can you also show the slide? So earlier, in order to extract the power of the employees at the field, we also talked about the industrial regular report. And firstly, corporate philosophy. Our founder, Sato, in 1978, he mentioned that the company is public entity. That was clearly articulated. And second president, Fujita, also compiled the code of conduct.
Fujita was the son-in-law of the founder, and not just carrying on the principle, he decided to evolve it for the next generation. He had a strong, passionate mission for that. And then after the president was changed, and the employees' generation changed as well. And gradually, this company principle, corporate philosophy, became just a formality. Then in 2011, the second generation President Fujita passed away. But what Fujita was saying in his later years was that by inviting the fifth president, he said, Sato's business shall be expanded globally. And for that, he asked the president to penetrate this corporate philosophy. That was the last words. And that became the turning point. In 2013, the fifth president said that the corporate philosophy would become a global corporate philosophy. It was really fine. And in 2016, the special department to report directly to the president was established. And they are covering almost, this person of the head of the office covered almost all the 26 countries around the world where we have our offices to penetrate this philosophy. And also to understand and penetrate this philosophy locally, he picked the champions from each office so that it would be more cascaded. And from 2017 and on, globally, we gathered best practices and recognized the excellent people. We started the Global Award. And this year, we have just held the Global Award. And recently, beyond the country border, we have more and more best practices from each country. And it seems that the global corporate philosophy is becoming a common word, common language for everyone. And another thing about the industrial or the three-line report that we issue every day. So the employee write this short message to the president about the findings or the suggestions. And I write this every day too. So after participating in this event, I'm hoping to get some kind of hint to write something to the president. And this daily report is a key here. The employee would always be sensitive to various different news. When there is a new product, like saying, like this product, this part was not easy to use, or this kind of was a voice coming from the customer, we could gather such things. And from those words and voices, the president would pick out some of the things that's notable and ask for the revisions, improvements to be made. And it goes to the president directly. So the speed of information is going to be fast, and the inconvenience will be found. So it would lead to the higher transparency. But at the same time, in order to do this business, do this structure, the greatest burden is on the president himself. Every day, he's reading about 2,200 reports from each one of the employees, and 20 out of them that were selected would be presented to the president, and the president would not just read them, but we would have to give the reaction to them. That's important. Without that reaction, the employees would not write those reports, daily reports. And some of the past presidents said this is the mechanism to make the management stronger, because you have to accept the harsh voices of the employees, and also you have to think about the root cause or the background to those voices. And from those perspectives, he said it's going to lead to stronger management. You have to have a harsh determination to accept anything. So that was, and to accept that kind of a hardship is one of the conditions for becoming the president of Sato Corporation. So from the two wheels, including this corporate philosophy and this three-line daily report, we have been trying to foster such mindfulness. Thank you. So, Tsuge-san's company, Sato's Sustainable Finance Initiative, it seems to be very much synchronized with your globalization of the business. So, it's not like the principle is just there as a word, but you are trying to make all the employees around the world into one team, and I think it was indispensable for your globalization. So, from here, I'd like to change the question. So, please describe the significant changes and reforms that you have occurred since the initiative began in the past. So, what has changed? What has been reformed? Please tell us. And what were the underlying factors that drove these changes? Can you also share that as well? Now, Minasawa-san, please. Yes. So, like I said earlier, we started to do the sustainability commitment from 2019 for the first time, and it's been 6 years. And ever since I came to be involved in this work, it's been about 3.5 years. The most significant change during this time is a shift in the perception of ESG. From something that was the forced task, it became a part of the daily operations of each department. Of course, there are still some people who doesn't think so. It's not fully penetrated. Some people feel that they are obliged to do it. But I think this shift in the perception is the biggest change we have seen. And in fact, at Olympus, in 2019, ever since we declared the commitment to ESG, we first set the target for Dow Jones Sustainability Index. Joining the Dow Jones World was our first target, and we decided to raise the scoring there. And of course, that's according to the disclosure standard, and it's leading to the improvement of the disclosure activities too. But about the sustainability, we try to explain ESG and sustainability using their words to the people in the company. So a lot of people may have felt and actually repelled that it has not much relationship with your own business. But I came to be in this business about 3 years ago, and what I focused on was the corporate strategy and the ESG strategy and the business strategy to be in consistency, to have the consistency. Ever since I joined the company, I've been in the business field. So not the ESG from the ESG perspective, I've been trying to show the ESG from the business perspective too. And if you can, I'd like to share a slide. Actually, this was a new finding for me too. But when you think about sustainability, what you might first think about is the carbon neutrality and the human rights. So it's the common common agenda for everyone. And that's on the left-hand side. The expectation from the society is what we have to meet. So we need to work on this. But internally, we felt that we had been forgetting the things that's directly linked to us in the materiality. We are running the medical business. We are in the medical device business. So through the business, we're working on the improvement of the accessibility to medical service. But that has become too much of a common factor. So they didn't think it was relating to any sustainability or contribution to the society by the employees. So on the right, I tried to work on this internal part and not saying that it's a sustainability policy, so you have to do this. But I said in your daily line of work, this is actually linked to sustainability. Those were the things we tried to find together and try to link it with the materiality. That's the biggest thing that I did try to do. So 6 years have passed at the company, and we still have more way to go. But I think there is a greater penetration, and there are changes in the attitude among the employees. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, right. Minasawa-san's company, your main company is very much directly linked to the sustainability. It's a social contribution through your own business. So even if you were asked to be too sustainable, some people didn't think that was actually, the business was actually a sustainable business. And you were adopted by Dow Jones Index, or you try to become a part of the index, and that setting such visible goal, tangible goal may have been good. By showing the goal that everyone can understand, you could make everyone into one team. And I think it was a very effective goal setting in carrying out the sustainability initiatives. Thank you very much. So now I would like to invite Mr. Tsujiue about ASICS.
Thank you very much. Well, can you show the slide? Well, regarding sustainable finance, what we have changed? Well, in a multifaceted manner, I think this really evolved, and we can't really express the content on the slide. But on 2018, 7 years ago, our chairman, CEO Hirota, and President and CEO Tobinaga joined ASICS from other companies, and they made a board management reform. And in the process, we have also experienced the pandemic, and our performance sharply recovered. And more recently, we were able to enter the growth stage beyond that. And along with that, our stock price has continued to increase. In addition to that, as communicated earlier, we also had the uridashi. So we asked stable shareholders to release ASICS shares, and we also sold all of our cross shareholdings. So all of this really had the impact, and I'd like to also cover what change we have seen. As shown in this bar graph, we have many investor meetings, and number of investor meetings has sharply increased, particularly starting from 3 years from 2024 and this year. This year is still halfway, but annually we are meeting with a sharply increasing number of investors, particularly the overseas institutional investors are meeting, having a lot of the meetings. And another one is our market cap increased. Initially, many investors were focusing on the value, but from the middle of the course, some of the investors are focusing on the growth, and the large cap investors' weight has gradually increased. Well, thank you very much. Japan Securities Analyst Association shows 2025 disclosure excellent companies also include ASICS and became the first award winner in the retail sector. And by listening to you now, you are diversifying the investor base, and you are also having more rigorous shareholders to have your shares, and that is also being appreciated by many analysts, and congratulations for winning this award. Well, thank you very much. And my final question to you. Please share one point that demonstrates your firm's conviction that the sustainable finance operations you are undertaking will yield results in the medium to long term. And can you also give us some message to analysts who evaluate your corporate value? So starting with Shimonosano-san, please. Thank you very much. So can you show the slide? First of all, we believe it's to be reflected in our mid to long-term performance, and this is directly linked to actual business performance and expanding such an sustainable finance. That is a very important point. I'd like to cite an example. Currently, we have midterm management plan, which is shown on the left-hand side, and we are trying to make active growth investment and accelerate our growth. And one of the growth driver is to expand environment-related businesses, as shown on the right-hand side graph. And a specific area of the environment-related business is solar power and lithium-ion and biomass power generation projects. So last year, for the first time in Abata, we made the green financing and the green bond issuance, and main utilization is for biomass power generation projects. And directly linked with growth strategy, we'd like to accelerate our sustainable finance initiative so that we can expand our businesses in the mid to long term. And the message to analysts, please show the next slide. Here, as our message, as shown in the first bullet point, we are to undergo the change, and please also pay attention to our change. And the sustainability and the governance-related matters are the main areas of our change, and we picked up those examples of the recent years. And on the backdrop of our performance improvement, our ROE exceeded the cost of capital in FY 2021. And in FY 2022, here we have a corporate governance system where majority of directors are outside the directors. In relation to sustainability, in FY 2024, we formulated for the first time the sustainability midterm plan, and we are going to manage the progress using specific KPIs. through these changes, for the 4 quarters continuously, we were able to renew our record revenue and operating profit. And we'd like to make continued change, and please also keep attention to our changes. Well, thank you very much. At the outset, you mentioned about speedy initiatives, which is directly contributing to your performance. That is quite wonderful. Not just holding the banners, but this is also entailing the substance. Thank you very much. Next, Tsuge-san, please. Yes. Please show the slide. Sato, we value each employee's autonomous behavior, which is underpinned by corporate culture, which is the driving force of the sustainable finance. And this year, we have a 7th president, and under his leadership, we revised our materialities. In the past, we are using ESG framework in line with the requirements of the society. This time we focused on the CSV, and which is supported by restructured ESGs. Key point of the revision is how to change the social mechanism, that kind of the perspective, such as advancement of the supply chain and wider use of the reusable energy. So we have the ability to understand the on-the-ground work in depth, and we are focusing on these themes. And the sustainable finance for Sato is underpinned by corporate philosophy. We need to have the employees' ability to work autonomously, and we need to leverage that with our management mechanism. And that is a continued initiative on the people and organizational culture. We are currently promoting the corporate philosophy, and we have 127 global leaders promoting this. We have assigned such leaders at all of our subsidiaries, and 90% of the employees understand the corporate philosophy, and 85% of them empathizes our corporate philosophy. And not only understanding and empathizing, but also practicing the philosophy. And we have higher engagement in such employees. So philosophy is pushing the employees' autonomous action, which is also enhancing the autonomy of the organization.
On the other hand, the employees' autonomous activities are supported by that daily report. And in the previous year, this 3-line daily report, there were 500,000 reports were issued. So 99% submission rate is sustained. And out of which about 30% were proposing some kind of improvements or new ideas. And from FY22 and on, the field improvement cycle was enhanced, speeded up, so that there is now a new new daily report to be given to the direct boss. This is a voluntary system, but in FY24, there has been 770 reports, and out of which 125 of those ideas and proposals were executed, realized. So such cultural infrastructure is leading to more autonomous initiatives by the employees. And in the midterm, it's leading to the higher credibility with the customers and stable revenues and profits, and more growth toward the future. That's all. Thank you. Thank you very much. Value and purpose, such words could be something like what does it have to do with the business performance. Some of my employees ask me that question as well. But as I was listening to Ms. Tsugen, I felt both value and purpose would really be linked to the performance. It's leading to the better performance in the mid and long run. I'm so relieved to hear that. It's not just the principle. Because there's the principle of philosophy, you would get the good results. I'm so glad that you're saying it was proven. Thank you. So, Minasawa-san, go ahead. Yes, please share the slide. So this chart indicates our materiality, the six materiality, and out of which includes the wide sharing of the medical care and accessibility to the medical care. And this is very much related to our core of our business, healthcare access and outcome. And we believe this is going to be having a linked impact on our business growth over the midterm and long term. In fact, our medical business began when we successfully developed the world's first gastroendoscope in response to requests from Japanese doctors. Long before terms like ESG and sustainability emerged, our business grew through developing new medical technologies and contributing to their adoption and advancement. Initially, this endoscopic medicine was only existing in Japan, but it eventually spread overseas. And so first it was unfolded into the developed countries and eventually into emerging countries, and also from urban areas to rural areas. And that led to the further growth of our business. And as for some other materiality, it's very much linked to our medical business, healthcare business, and the healthcare environment has become increasingly challenging with higher demand placed on product quality and management systems. And under the overarching concept of keeping healthcare going, we are strengthening the resilience of our supply chain. And recently, as regards to carbon neutrality and the circular economy, the European hospitals and academic societies are calling for the realization of endoscopic medicine with low environmental impact under the concept of green endoscopy. As a result, many sustainability-related themes have become important issues for our business. Finally, about a message to the analysts. In the field of sustainability within the medical device industry, there seems to be a strong tendency to focus on the risk too much. Of course, we have to abide by the regulations and safety rules. They are very important for the patient's health, and we are very much committed to that, of course. But one thing that's often overlooked is the creation of the opportunity along with the evolution of the medical care. Our business would expand along with the evolution of the medical care and health care. So please also focus on the opportunity, not just the risks. Thank you. Thank you very much. That was a very good proposal, I think. So thank you for waiting. Now, Mr. Tsuji will go ahead. Thank you very much. So I would like to share the screen. Thank you. So, what kind of impact do we have? Well, I'd like to give through this thing from a different angle, actually. So, through that global offering, we felt what ASICS wanted to achieve, or what we want to achieve, and it's summarized in those 5 points here. So, for those shareholders who were the stable shareholder, we asked them to sell, and we have been trying to realize more better shareholder mix, which we wanted to realize. So we needed to improve the capital efficiency and also be accountable to the capital markets. So that's what we wanted to realize and achieve. And through that, we would like to face the global capital markets fully. Now we are talking about the full phase business management. So the top management and everyone, including us, the IR management members, we are very eager to be committed to the investor relations and the investor dialogues. So please know that we are trying to enhance the initiatives to the global capital markets. And through such initiatives, we'd also like to improve our investor shareholder mix. So ASICS brand, the one who really understands our brand and who really would like to expect highly on our growth, we'd like to attract such high quality institutional investors. And also we are a B2C companies too. So we'd also like to expand individual shareholders as well. So so that they would support us on the long term. And also through such governance enhancement, in the end, it would lead to the reduction of capital costs. The reduction of the capital cost would mean that equity spread would spread further eventually. And then the corporate value would be enhanced further. So the performance improvement is one thing, but in addition to that, we'd also like to do something more to elevate our corporate value through various initiatives, and from the finance and IR department. And as for the message to the analysts, there are many things I'd like to ask, but if I would shortlist that, it's as follows. So it's going to be a bit of a repetition for what I said earlier, but not just the business performance improvement, please note what we are doing for the sustainability of the business and also the recreativity of the business performance. Please understand what's behind it. And so we would like to also do everything we can in order to explain what we can do for the analysts so that they would understand us. So I hope to sustain a good relationship with them. And the capital policy and the financial policy would be the one thing that we would like to do in enhancing the communication with the investors and have more engagements. So sometimes you may give us harsh comments, maybe, our opinions, but we hope to have further deep discussions and communication with one another. Thank you very much. Thank you. So those 4 members here are always facing the analysts and getting so many harsh questions, I believe. So anything from you all to the analysts as final message? Well, actually, I am on the buy side, analyst side. So I'd like to tell you a bit about the current situation of the analysts. Please share the screen. It's an English material, sorry. I am going to explain what these charts are. So the one on the left, the blue line from around 20,000 beyond 40,000 is the Nikkei average. Nikkei 225 average price. And then the orange bars are indicating from 2004 to 2024, it's going down, as you see. And this is the Japanese equity weights in MSCA all country, the so-called all country index. And so the Japanese equity weight in this MSCSI ACWI. And from 2004 until 2024, throughout the 20 years, the Japanese equity weight in this all country has become from 11% to down to 5%. It has become almost half.
Actually, the name of the largest cap in all country is Apple, and one name, Apple's weight, and all of Japanese equities in the all countries are almost equal. However, Nikkei average has increased. Nikkei average increased, but Japan's weight in all countries has come down. But actually, Nikkei average rising period, and in the last 20 years, actually all countries indices increased by 5 times, and in a longer period, all countries' market cap increased by tenfold. Japanese equity is also making record of the price. However, other countries' corporate value has increased faster than Japanese equities in the last 3 decades. Was really generated based on these kind of the numbers. And please look at the right-hand side. This is the number of Japanese names, 324 Japanese names included in MSCI all countries. And at the end of 2024, along with the reduced market cap, it has reduced to 191 names. And you need to take a closer look at this blue line. This is sell-side analysts not covering the companies. The number of the companies uncovered by analysts. In 2019, it was 65%, but with a shrinking market cap, non-coverage ratio has increased to 70%. So actually, a greater number of the companies were not covered by analysts. And listening to 4 panelists today, the corporate governance code formulated in 2015 is marking 10th anniversary this year. And the company is conscious of financial impact is now increasing to 90%. So over the past 10 years, it's not necessarily a lost decade. We were able to sense that by listening to today's panel. Initially, the governance management was on the defensive, but the Japanese companies are changing to governance management on the offensive side. And in order to further re-energize Japanese companies, not only companies are making effort is not enough. So we, the buy side, as well as the sell side analysts, their quality improvement is essential. In the past, analysts' work was analysis, but nowadays, most of analysts' work can be done by AI. So analysis that took 1 week can be done nowadays in a few hours. Then, by what analysts can generate added value, their added value. Earlier, 4 panelists made the suggestions. Rather than focusing on short-term performance, but to look at the each company's initiatives and what are their core businesses in the mid to long term, to understand that and reflect that in the forecast. Such an ability is required of the analyst nowadays. And all of the 4 panels, we became more energized, more encouraged that we were able to understand that past 10 years was not necessarily the lost decade. Japanese companies now are trying to catch up and overtake the other global companies. Among some sectors, Japanese companies has more competitive edge. So you need to really appreciate that and attract a greater number of the investors. That is the work of the buy-side analyst. So this is my concluding remarks by way of a message. And I'd like to express my gratitude to all of the 4 panelists today.
モデレーター、パネリストの皆様、ありがとうございました。どうぞ今一度拍手でお送りいただきたいと思います。ありがとうございました。